family and friends, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are and whatever you find yourself doing. And I also hope that you are eating your water, you're minding your fruits, and drinking your business. Don't mind me, I actually know what I'm saying. I hope that you are drinking enough water, taking a lot of fruits, and of course, minding your business. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of The Time.
My name is Victoria Gure.
You can call me Esther Biade.
And I am Olasubomi Durodola. You know what? I must say, you guys are looking really pink today.
Thank you.
You know, Victoria, I like the pop of colors. It really, really suits your skin. And I'm sure that I will get this kind of earrings someday.
Okay, I thought you were about to say, I'll get your earrings. I'm like, we'll find.
Someday.
But thank you.
Esther, yes, your lipstick. So nice.
What color is that? Burgundy.
Yeah, burgundy.
Ooh, I know my
Nice.
colors. And so this dusty pink scarf. I love it. I mean, it matches her blush.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right, guys, let's get to business. Let's talk. You know, I always overhear this conversation around people that were a product of our environment, or some people say that we're a product of our genetics.
Yeah.
So it actually led me to go read up on it. And then I realized, or I read that the first person that coined the word nature or nurture was this English Victorian polymath. His name was Frank Galton. Yeah, Frank Galton. He coined the word in the 1800s. So I was reading and I realized that, okay, for me, I think we're a product of both nurture and nature.
Yeah.
So I actually want to ask you guys, have you been hearing this and do you know anything about it, or what do you feel about it?
Well, it's been a conversation out there. It wasn't exactly phrased in that manner, but you usually hear that you're a product of your environment or of a certain situation and whatnot. So I definitely feel like at different phases of your life, one is more prevalent than the other. Like right now, if I had to speak on my life right now, I'd probably say nature is more prevalent than nurture, for example.
You know what, let's understand what nature is and what nurture is first. People say that nature is what you think as a pre-wiring that is influenced by genetics or other biological factors, while nurture, on the other hand, is what is influenced by your environment. For example, your exposure, your experiences in the world. So Esther, what do you think about that?
I mean, I would agree with Victoria to an extent and say that, it's a blend of the two. But at the same time, you said that where you are right now, there's one that is more like dominant and the other is submissive. I feel like all through, because of our lives, it would have like a mix and blend of that.
Yeah.
But for me, I would say that in recent times, I mean, I studied nature and nurture as a topic in sociology in the university. So in a way, I kind of like have a little bit of an understanding. I mean, it was purely theoretical then, but like, with time, you get to understand how practical it can be. And I would say that we're majorly a product of our environment. So I'll say, nurture leads and nature follows.
So you're saying that nurture is more important or more influential?
No, nurture is more influential.
Okay. Do you agree, Victoria?
Well, we're basically saying the same thing. It's just she says throughout your life it balances. And I'm saying that throughout your life, one is always more dominant. At different phases of your life, one is more dominant than the other.
But for me, I actually feel that nature is vulnerable to nurture, in the sense that when you have something innate in you already, you're born with probably a talent. If you do not nurture it, if you don't surround yourself with people that will actually bring the talent up for you, I think it's going to go into waste.
I mean, you know what they say, practice makes perfect. So, like, it doesn't even necessarily mean that, mean in that regard. If whatever it is you want to do, if you don't do it and practice on it, then you won't get better.
Exactly.
So you do have to, like, do a lot of practice to get better.
Is that not saying that? I mean, you can't practice on your own. No man is an island.
Yeah,
so you actually need...
can.
Yeah,
you actually can.
Yeah,
you actually can. Well, it depends on what it is exactly, but you actually can.
But okay, do you want to cite example of talent that you can do on your own?
At this moment, I can't pinpoint anything, but there are several stories of people that have developed things on their own. Let's say, for example, acting, learning how to play the keyboard or the piano, learning how to
do you know that
learning how to sing.
It doesn't necessarily have to be
exactly. I'm self-taught.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that you are calling people to be with you when you're doing that thing. Your audience, when you have your makeup on, if you take pictures, of course, people will compliment you.
Yeah.
So that for me is nurture. Because people are already saying that, okay, this is nice, this is not looking bad. Then like that, you're nurturing your talent gradually. That's what I feel.
Yeah, you could look at it in that way. You're definitely improving on something that you already have, which supports your nature.
Yes.
And then by improving on it, that's your nurture.
Yeah.
But I want to tackle this from a more habit type of perspective and personality. Like growing up, I grew up in a it wasn't very conservative, but it was conservative and liberal. Like my parents, I'm Christian, my parents would teach you this is right, this is wrong, this is how we do things, this is how we don't do things. But then they still gave that room for you as a child to decide, okay, we've taught you what we can or what we could, like go out and make your own decisions and whatnot. So at that point of my life, like when I was still under my parents' care, I can say that it was full nature that basically led the way for me. But after leaving them, I found that a lot of their teachings, I would not like to use the word left me, but I just didn't follow a lot of their teachings because I started trying to pave my own way because
you want to be your own person.
Yeah, because I'm in a different country. I'm surrounded by different personalities, different people than who I was surrounded with growing up. So right now, nurture is definitely more dominant than nature because I'm finding myself developing new habits, different ways of thinking, open-mindedness and all that. Tolerance as well.
So Esther, would you say that you are a product of nature or nurture?
I would say that I'm a product of both. I mean, I'm always... because I'm always going to stand by that. I would say nature because I believe that I am my own person. And there are some things that, come what may, I'm not going to do. There is nothing that's going to change my mind on that. And I would say nurture because I grew up in a purely conservative home. My parents are Christians as well, and they try their best to bring us up in the way of the Lord. And I would say also bring us up in a very morally upright manner. On the other hand, I also know the kind of person that I am. I really wasn't the child that wanted to be like a bad child or I wanted to like try things. I think before I would do something, now in insight that I think about it, I would actually think, I don't want to do something that will upset my parents. I know that my parents would think these things are wrong, so I don't want to do it. For example, I mean, I didn't think it was like this, but when I was in secondary school, there was a guy then that liked me in my final year in secondary school. And you know, it was fun. It was, sorry. And you know,
it's okay.
It was Valentine's Day, and you know, they were sharing gifts, and he gave me a gift. He gave me a couple of things, but the thing that stood out for me was he gave me a bottle of red wine. I remember it was Calor.
In secondary school?
Yes, I was like 14 years old.
How old was he?
I can't remember how old he was. We were actually classmates, but it was one of those guys that had this rebellious face.
Like the bad guy.
Funny enough, when I was in SS1, I actually had a crush on that guy. Yes, like I felt really cute to me. But
maybe it was because he was popular, so you know how you always have the crush on the
popular guy.
It actually wasn't popular, but it just looked really cute to me. And then fast forward to SS3, and this guy is like, you know, asking me out and writing, but that's not the important part. So the bottle of wine was in my locker, and I'd been thinking of what I was going to do with it, but I knew for sure that I wasn't going to drink it because my parents, there was never alcohol in our house. But I did want to like just taste it because I was curious. So I gave the bottle to a friend. They opened it. I took a sip and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what red wine tastes like. And then I gave it to them. And then I was having a conversation with someone recently, and he was like, well, do you think that the reason why you didn't think to drink the entire bottle on your own is because your parents never drank alcohol? And I was like, well, no, I'm not really you the type to drink alcohol? It was like, well, you were never, like, it wasn't your environment. You weren't exposed to alcohol. And then in my head, it just clicked. I was like, yeah, right. My parents never drank alcohol. I was never in that environment of alcohol drinking or even smoking. I mean, there are people on our streets that were smoking, but directly close to me, I was never exposed to that. So because of that, I was weary of doing that. So I would say personally, it's a blend of both. But when I was growing up, it was majorly nurture.
What was going on around you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk genetics and exposure or experience.
Yeah.
For example, a baby that was adopted, that didn't grow up with the mother or father, if the mother, the biological mother now, is a person that is naturally aggressive, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
But now when the baby was brought up in that family, they're very calm, very patient family, do you think there'll be a kind of conflict in the personality of that child because of the blood in the child and the environment?
No, I highly doubt that.
But what if it pops up sometimes?
That's the thing. That's where choice now comes into this whole equation, because nurture, you were raised a certain type of way. You grew up in a very peaceful environment. Yeah. You think a specific way. By default, nurture kind of dictates how you think or your mindset until a different type of situation or peer pressure or influence rather basically comes into play. That's when your mind then switches to be an aggressor or be violent and all that. So I don't feel like the genetic part of it would even come into play at all. And Esther also mentioned a very beautiful point where she said you should know who you are. Yeah. Once you know who you are, you know your interests and all that. And knowing who you are helps when it comes to peer pressure. Just because you see people stealing and whatnot, if it's not for you, you won't do it.
Yeah.
So do you think in your environment now, do you think it's more likely or more possible to pick up positive personalities or negative personalities?
I think it's possible to pick up both. I mean, nurture itself, the word nurture, or when you're describing somebody that is affected by nurture, is being affected by environmental circumstances. Yeah. It doesn't say being affected by negative environmental circumstances or positive. So it's a blend of both. You could pick up positive things, but you could also pick up negative things.
Yeah, actually I agree that it's a blend of both, because when you're talking about genetics, what's in your blood or anything, if your parents are fair-skinned, they're fair-skinned or they have a type of hair, it's not going to affect you in any way. It's not going to change at any point. But what changes is the behavior. I think that's where nurture comes in. You can easily pick up behavioral patterns in the environment. So you can't even change your hair. But it can also come in that wherever you are, you want to blend in. That's why we have some people that want to change their skin color to suit their environment.
That's peer pressure.
That's peer pressure.
Yeah. That's peer pressure, societal pressure, so to say. Because things work a certain way in society, you want to then blend in. But then once you know who you are, where you're going, what you stand for, that wouldn't be a problem. Let me give you a very good example of myself. For the longest time, like all through primary school and high school, I was so insecure about my skin. I was like, I am super dark. Like I have extra melanated hands. I was so insecure about it. And I would see all these people bleaching and all that. And to me, it just never interested me. It was an insecurity, yes. But it wasn't something that I actively wanted to change. And that was because I knew who I was. And knowing who you are kind of helps you accept who you are as a person and even love yourself even greater. So I celebrate myself. I'm a melanin goddess.
Is it?
That's good.
Yeah. I like that. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, is it a bad thing to want to blend in into a society? You know, we have this saying that when you're in Rome, you behave like the Romans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing to want to blend into society, but the question is to what extent?
Exactly.
To what, like,
I like that.
What's the longest or the deepest where you're willing to go?
Yeah.
And I feel like if it's at a cost to yourself or to your personality or who you are deep down, then it's not worth it.
That's why people suffer a lot of this personality crisis. Not knowing who they are.
Yes, there's always
they're
this
trying
conflict.
to please the outside and they're not happy internally. And I keep saying that you exude what you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
So the sooner you accept it and make peace with it and like, okay, I know who I am. This is my personality. You're good to go.
Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen in the house, you've heard from my girls. You have to be your own person. Expose your experiences, whatever you know that you want to do in life, whatever you want to be in life, be your own person, focus. Don't let anybody sway you or anything. Victoria and Esther, do you have parting words for the audience?
For me, it's simple. Your nurture, that's who you were or who you continue to be. Nature, influenced by society, know who you are. And just love yourself, man. And stand for what you believe in, most importantly.
I mean, I would say that there's really no right or wrong answer when it comes to is nature more superior to nurture, or is nurture more superior to, or is it a blend
of both?
But like she said, know who you are, be your own person. I mean, before you make a decision or before you do something, think about it. Like, is that what you actually want to do?
Yeah.
Or are you being negatively influenced by your society?
All right, beautiful people, that brings us to the end of this wonderful segment. And of course, as usual, we have a lot of fun things in place for you. So don't go anywhere. Stay there.
Hello, Time family, and welcome back to the one, the only, the beautiful, the fantastic, the fabulous, the Time. Now, of course, you have myself, you have Olasubomi and Esther, and we're going into Hey Sis!
Hey Sis!
All right, so guys, I actually want to confide in you guys and just hear what you guys have to say. So before I got married, my mom wanted me to marry someone from my tribe, just to avoid all these fundamental differences and all that. I'm pretty sure you've had of experiences like that.
Yes.
And I was now in the talking stage with this other guy. I will not mention names in case he's watching. I don't want you to compete me because we're all good now. But anyway, so we started talking and there was some things that he was enforcing on me, like the type of way I should greet him, type of way I should talk to him and stuff like that. And to me, it didn't make sense because I'm like, I don't do that for my father. So who are you?
Hold on.
Who are you? Who are you? Like he was shoving it down my throat. And sorry, So in my head, I'm like, do I really need to tolerate this? Do I really need to tolerate this? And every time I spoke to him about it, he always blamed it on how he was raised. Apparently, his mom used to do this for his father, so he wouldn't expect anything less. And to me, I'm like, this is living in bondage already and we're still talking. So guys, please, what would you do if you meet or you've been dating a guy or are married to a guy and he blames his bad habits or ridiculous things on the way he was raised?
I mean, I think first of all, it's very important to understand that when you are relating with people outside your immediate or extended family, cultures, values, behavior, character traits is completely different. Like you're walking into a new territory. So you need to be careful. Like the fact that one thing happens in your family doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen in another person's family. But however, I would say that, if you're with someone or a partner that is making some specific demands on you, you need to weigh your options. Like, is it something that I can sustain? Do I not mind? But for me,
Esther,
there are just some certain things that I can't do. Like, I don't even believe that whole if you're from the same, because you can be from the same tribe and those people moving mad. That's just the word.
Definitely.
For me, there are some things I can do, but if you want me to worship you as my Lord and Savior, it will not happen.
It won't happen.
Like, I don't worship my father as my Lord and Savior. Exactly.
When I'm serving my dad food, I don't even go on my knees. No offense to you guys that do it, but I will kneel a little like that.
People don't really do that anymore. Every time you are kneeling down.
If you are in a relationship with somebody that you are in different interpretative community,
exactly,
you cannot expect the person to come to you and do as you've always been doing in your house. I mean, we have different cultures. Like, okay, in dance technique now, if you throw a show at a performer, now that means you are doing a good job.
If you throw a shoe.
Yes,
that's violent.
If somebody's performing and you throw a shoe, that means you're doing a fantastic job and I respect you. But me, I'm performing or I'm doing something and you throw a shoe and I will slap you. Yes, that's because we're in different interpretative communities. We don't do the same things the same way or anything. But I will advise that you call your partner, talk to your partner, okay, this is how I do my things. This is how I've always been doing it. And yes, this is how you've always been doing your things. Let's find a middle ground. And let's talk about it. I think peace will reign that way.
I've always understood relationships to be a partnership. Like, you're coming into this blind, I'm also coming into this blind. We set up our own rules. We build our own home. So for you to carry, I feel like them saying I was raised this way is an excuse for their bad manners. That's just it. So the way I understand relationships is it's a partnership. You're both walking into it blindly.
Yes.
So you're supposed to establish your own rules, your own laws, and your own way of doing things. But now I feel like him blaming everything on the way he's raised is just to cover up his bad manners. That's just it.
I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, because some of the things that he might be saying might not necessarily be things that are like bad manners.
But demanding.
No, but because you're not used to it, that's why it's like a problem for you.
Okay, let me give an example. Dishes pile up, right? As I explained, a relationship should be a partnership.
Yeah.
You are not at home. You're out there hustling for your urgent 2K.
Yeah.
This guy has been at home. He's refused to do dishes. When you come back home, he's like, you need to do dishes. What? You left the...
Now it's not. Maybe that's the way it was raised. That's how they did it. It was like, in your own house is your dad and the male figure that did the dishes.
If you're asking for respect,
Exactly.
me too. They used to worship me in my house. When everybody wakes
I
up,
don't
they're
do
like,
anything.
oh yeah, oh. Then they put their head on the ground.
I walk on top of everybody like basically as the queen that
So
I
you
am.
guys, your approach would be revenge. Like, okay, I also have a mother and I
It's
have
like
a
what
father.
she said. You sit down and have a conversation
Exactly.
about it. But if it's at what stage of the relationship did he start, showing these signs?
Like, let me say later on in the relationship, people pretend like,
Yeah.
the honeymoon phase, they show you what you want to see and all that. So let's say you're now, let's say 2 years into the relationship. Like,
That's
you're
a long
in
time,
deep.
Mo.
2 years.
No, you moved in. That's when you moved in and whatnot. After dating for 2 years,
Well,
you
I
moved
think you
in.
need to. I think you need to sit down and have a conversation. 2
Yes.
years into the relationship, you
Yeah.
need to have a conversation about it.
Conversation
And if you have a
works always,
conversation
actually.
and it doesn't go
If your partner does not comprehend,
I'll just
Take
say
your
it's time
decision.
to pack your bags and go.
But my thing is, how many times should you actually point this thing out to him?
As many times as possible.
As many times. Conversation, keep saying it.
And
keep
if he
saying
never
it.
changes, what then happens?
Then your tolerance level is on the low already.
Exactly.
So
Shouldn't you just come to terms and accept it? Well, who am I lying to? I would not accept it.
Come to terms and accept it. The question is, how many things are you going to have to
Yeah.
accept?
Very
in the name
true.
of this is how I was raised, or
Yeah.
this is what happens
But
in my
really,
family.
you on the other hand, if your partner keeps telling you that, okay, Victoria, you've been doing this, I don't like it,
Yeah.
this is not how I do my own, would you want to compromise and change to his ways?
Well, if it's something reasonable, I will compromise and change. As I said,
Keyword, reasonable.
if it's reasonable.
What if according to him it's also reasonable?
Then we'll define what reasonable is in that house.
I think I like what
Before.
Shibomi
Yeah.
said. Compromise is very important in a relationship. So the question is, are you willing to stay with a partner that is not willing to compromise?
Exactly. I don't think I'm willing to because I was lucky because my husband already started compromising even before we got engaged.
And you have not been compromising.
No, Auntie, I've been.
The guy has coconut egg.
I compromise.
You have coconut
Guys,
egg.
no,
You have
relocating. No,
coconut egg.
just tell me.
You have coconut egg.
I do not deny that fact. I accept it wholeheartedly. But tell me, moving from a country to another country, isn't that a big sacrifice and compromise? I could have equally asked him to move down to Namibia. I could have, but I didn't because it made more sense for me to compromise.
But did you guys talk about it?
We spoke about it. Initially, I was not for it. But then we spoke, and it just made better sense for me to move to Nigeria. I didn't say it would be forever, but...
Speaking about this thing, I just remembered a conversation I had with someone about someone that she knows, and they had gotten married, I think maybe a year into the relationship, and her husband told her to go off social media, like the popular social medias, like Instagram and Twitter, because he doesn't want people sliding into her DMs and all of that. And this is someone that posted her wedding on her page. But, I get it. Even posting your wedding,
it doesn't stop guys from sliding in. Guys. If I open my DMs for you guys.
There was this popular person on Instagram that was always posting relationship problems.
Yeah.
And I guess he didn't want a situation whereby maybe she'll message him and say, hey, this person, hi, and my husband are having this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so does your partner have that power to say, you know what, I don't want you to be on this social media? Or should your partner be able to have that final say?
No. I mean, I met my boyfriend on Twitter,
Yes, online love.
I met my boyfriend on Twitter. Twitter.
Okay, so I cannot imagine him saying that I should go off Twitter. I mean, I let you hear.
That's the thing. People fail to understand that, yes, we're in this relationship together, but I'm still my own person, sweetheart.
Exactly.
You're still your own person.
We
you
have a
can't
lot of
dictate
guys.
on how I should live my life.
Well,
yes, I will factor you in when
What
making
if-
decisions about
what
my
if
life.
he's-
But it's
What if he's asking you to do this because he has actually compromised on something
like
that
what?
you asked him to?
What? Blocked one girl on Instagram. Blocked one girl on Instagram.
I mean,
No.
we've seen a lot of men
But
that
I
will
want
say,
us-
remove
okay.
your pictures from all social media. Like, don't go off social media.
That is
but
a red
remove all
flag.
your
That
pictures.
just shows that he's controlling. That's just it. My thing is, I don't want to put a lot of the focus on the men only because I'm married and I have a lot of married friends. And when we talk, like, girl chat, they'll tell me, okay, what's happening in their houses. And the funny thing is, a lot of these directives that he ends up giving the wife comes from his family. They're like, okay, she has our surname now. She needs to act accordingly. She needs to do this and blah, 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 blah.
Marry into
so
a
that's
good
the problem.
family.
Exactly.
But
That's
that's
just
the thing.
important.
People pretend. You would think that they're heaven on earth until they start
I
showing
mean,
you.
the best thing is just to pray that you don't end up with somebody that pretends.
Yeah. And someone that doesn't make you tolerate the dumbest things. I'm so sorry, I can't be kneeling for a man. Even if he pays the rent, he buys me what.
I can kneel.
Even the G-Wagon I want.
If I want to, do not
Exactly.
force me.
Exactly.
Because I'm Yoruba and it's part of our tradition that
Yeah.
usually you're supposed to like kneel for your husband, Olowo, Rimi, all
But
of that.
I can only do that if I want to ask for something, to tease him. That,
Exactly. I can kneel for my husband.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't mind, but at my own choice.
Do you guys know that it gets so bad that some men don't even want you to call them baby? Like, they want you to talk. The guy I was talking to literally said that, all these pet names, baby, blah, blah, those are government names that, no, I should call him by his name.
Excusez-moi.
Yes, he literally said that to me. I think I blocked him
What
after
does
that.
he want you to call him?
By his name. By his name. Or,
name.
you know how you have this clan names and all that? I should either call him that or his name. That was it.
I think
Which
that
is...
if you're a romantic person,
Yeah.
just, date somebody or be with someone that is equally romantic.
Romantic.
That's
Very
just
true.
it.
I've heard of a story that a lady said her boyfriend or her fiance said that because he's way older than she is, maybe like 20 years, the gap.
He doesn't,
Yeah.
don't call me
Don't
baby.
call me baby.
Don't call me baby.
What? Uncle Boo. Stop baby.
Guys, you know this famous saying that the man is the head of the house and the woman is the neck. Sometimes they don't even include women. They're like, women are just there, but the men is... So I feel like that sentence or that phrase has gotten to men's head so much to a point that they feel like whatever they say goes. So in a relationship, according to you guys, who should make more compromises? Or who should be more tolerant, so to say?
I watched this clip of a video that Michelle Obama, and she was like, at a lot of points in their relationships or in their marriage, year 5, year 10, sometimes she was the one giving 70%,
yes.
and he was giving 30%. So I feel like they're really at
How do
some
they
There's no
calculate
manual
this?
to it.
I think there's no manual to it, but I think you
Yeah.
can actually calculate when maybe your partner is consumed with work or emotionally they are drained and
You're the one making
you're the one
effort.
picking up
Yeah.
all the pieces. So I would say that there should be a balance, but sometimes you need to be strong and pick up for your partner. And just hope that you also have a partner that can equally be strong and pick up
But for
when
how
your
long?
energy is low.
And the
It's a marriage. If it's 5 years, you'll be 80% that 5 years.
You'll be
But
carrying him on your back for 5 years.
You do it, but
Well,
one day,
I pray.
one day, it will drop. So you just do it in hopes that. But in
But
terms
for
of
me, I actually
compromise,
feel marriage is 100-100.
yeah, it should.
It should be,
but it
but
doesn't
100.
necessarily mean. See, I'm not married, but I want to believe that I'm speaking for a good number of married people.
Yeah.
It's never 100-100. For some people, yes.
It's
if
never
100 for
100.
you.
It
then
definitely
Well,
depends.
it should be like this. When you're 70, I should be 30.
Yes.
And when you're 50, I should be 50. So just keep helping each other like that.
For me,
Exactly.
70-30 is even too much. 60-40,
No,
that one I
it
can
cannot be
tolerate.
like that all the time. There are some times that your partner will be actually low on the energy. So you have to pick it up for your
Well,
partner.
I hope that doesn't happen.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. The future is unforeseen, so we don't exactly know how it will go. But for me, it's very simple. If you're starting a relationship, that's your new home. You're establishing your new laws. You're establishing your new rules, how you want things to work. with your partner. And the important word here is compromise. Don't get into a relationship or long-standing relationship or a marriage if you know you do not know how to compromise. And don't blame anything on your poor family back at home when they don't even know just because you want to get your way. Esther, any final thoughts?
I mean, I would say that, and this is to both guys and ladies, partnership, marriages, relationship, whatever it is, like, stop blaming things on your background. Yes, your background did help get you to where you are, but I mean, come on. You should, at this point in time, start beginning to form your own thought processes, becoming your own person.
Exactly.
And if you're old enough to be in a relationship, I want to believe you're old enough to make compromises.
Right.
When you love someone, please, you know.
The love should tickle you a little.
Don't say, oh, you know, do this, because let them want to do it.
Exactly.
Love is sweeter.
Have a mumu button for the person.
Exactly.
Have a mumu button for the person.
It might not even be a real mumu button, but that person just saying, oh, I have his mumu button, or I have a mumu button.
Exactly. He will do this for me, and I can do that for him. Shubami?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of communication in relationship, but if there's communication, there should also be comprehension. Because if you are communicating...
Okay, Professor Shubami! Professor Shubami is a
Yes, please, because if you're communicating, it will turn on deaf ears. You have to comprehend.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, please just do you and choose peace always.
This is a word. This is a word that I think all of us will also agree on. When making demands, please apply common sense.
Yes.
Demand for things that make sense. That is all. All right, this brings us to the end of Hey Sis.
Hey Sis.
I definitely had so much fun. Do not go anywhere as we have so much fun still in store. Bye-bye.
Bye. Welcome back. Hey, darlings.
Hey, darling. Hey, darling. Hey, darling.
Welcome back to the time. We hope it's been a delight for you all. I've been having fun today, so much fun. We started the conversation with Let's Talk, Nature or Nurture. I said I believe, there should be a blend of both. There should be a balance. And then we moved on to, Hey Sis, he blames everything on the way he was raised. Bruv, stop it.
Stop it.
We don't do that here.
We don't wash dishes in my house.
And now we're down to, hey, if I say it though, cut off my neck.
Just say it.
And now we're down to, let's say it together, Final Clause! See, I didn't call it my favorite segment. Well, today's game sesh is going to be super easy. I have 10 questions and they're called brain teasers, aka how smart are you?
I'm ready to win.
If you put it that way.
So I have questions 1 to 10. You pick a number between 1 and 10 and let's see who wins.
Okay.
So I'm going to be starting with Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Fat as a donkey, you.
I don't think that's how they sing the song.
I just sing it how I want to sing.
It's okay.
Okay, between 1 and 10.
I'll pick 2.
It's as light as a feather, but the strongest person can't hold it for more than 5 minutes.
Oh, God.
Hey.
It's as light as a feather, but the strongest person can't hold it. Breath.
I'm not celebrating.
No, sincerely, I
She read it somewhere.
No, I didn't.
I believe it.
Maybe she saw my notes.
I didn't. You kept your
Shubami, you can be
notes.
honest with
I am
us.
smart.
All right.
Victoria.
7.
Okay. A man was walking in the rain in the middle of nowhere without a coat or an umbrella. It got soaked, but not a single hair on his head was wet. How can this be?
He what? Repeat.
A man was walking in the rain in the middle of nowhere without a coat or an umbrella. It got soaked.
I know the answer. He's bald.
Yes! I was hoping that you would not get it.
Okay, your turn. I have smart ladies.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's keep it that way. I'll pick 4.
Okay.
What gets more wet while it dries?
That sounds so nasty.
I can say nasty if I want. It's up to you to interpret it how you want.
What gets more wet?
What gets more wet while it dries?
What gets
10,
more wet?
9,
It's dry.
8, 7, 6,
Oh God.
5,
Oh God. Oh God.
4, 3,
2, 1.
I guess you're not as smart as you said you were.
Come on, don't do that.
Do you want to help her out?
No, I have my own question.
Oh, because you don't know it.
A towel.
Oh, yes. And you use it every day.
I wouldn't
Okay,
have
All right.
Victoria, your
3.
turn. The more there is, the less you see.
The more there is, the less you see. Can I get a hint?
No.
Okay. The more there is, the less you see. Mist? Hail?
Well,
Mist?
mist, you're kind of right. It's actually fog, but
Fog! I'm right.
I give you
You're
half
right.
points.
Give me my point. All right.
6.
What is full of holes but can't hold water?
Sponge.
That's the easiest one.
I know.
Oh my
When I
word.
had to put something easy in there,
I want number 10.
how about you?
10.
Number 10. A child was rushed into the hospital by his father, but couldn't be attended to by the doctor because the child belonged to the doctor. How is this possible?
A child was rushed into the hospital by his father,
Yes.
but he couldn't get attended to because the child belonged to the doctor. The father was a doctor?
He was rushed
Wait.
to the hospital by
He was rushed to the hospital by his father.
but he couldn't be attended to by the doctor because the child belonged to the doctor. 10, 9.
What was the father of the doctor? Was the father of the doctor?
6.
The
I feel
child
like
was
she
the
knows
doctor.
it. That's why she's saying it.
I'm not sure. I am
I
thinking
don't
of something
know.
in my
Just
head.
stop counting. I don't know.
1.
The doctor is the mother?
Yes.
The doctor is a what?
The mother.
With other people's questions.
Give me my crown.
With other people's questions.
Take
Yes.
your crown, babe. Okay. And she will me.
Next.
Oh, okay.
One last round.
Number 1.
Number 1. Billy's mother had 5 children. The first was named Lala. The second was named Lele. The third was named Lily. The fourth was named Lolo. What was the 5th child's name?
Billy.
That's so easy.
God.
Wow!
That was so easy. No.
You know what?
It was
Actually,
Stop
you should
hating on me.
be honestly. Victoria should be ashamed that she lost because this is a brain teaser for kids.
It's okay.
Oops.
All right. Give me.
I did not
number
hear
5
that.
taken. Number 5 was
No,
taken. Okay.
no.
Number 5.
It likes food, but water kills it.
Esther. I'm joking. All right. It likes food, but
Water kills it. Come on.
It likes food, but water kills it.
Likes food, but water kills it.
It likes food, but water kills it.
Is it what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
5,
No way.
It likes
3,
food, but water kills it.
2, 1, 0. Fire.
Fire.
Yes, baby.
It likes
fire.
food.
You feed it.
Fire likes
There
food.
are actually 2 more questions, but I think it's all good. We know the
It's all
winner.
good. It's fine. It's all right.
Okay, and now we've come to an end of another exciting episode. And the time. Thank you for staying with us. We hope you keep the conversation going, nature or nurture, which is more important or superior.
Yeah.
Are you a product of your nature or nurture?
And they should let us know of the silly ideas
Silly
and
demands.
demands
Yes.
of your partner.
If you've ever been in a relationship or talking
Yeah.
stage or situationship with any guy that said, well, you know, you're as my girl, this is what. Actually, there's so many scenarios. Someone will ask you, when are you coming to cook for me? As what?
Exactly. I don't have
As what,
soup in my
oh?
freezer anymore. The audacity.